Hello everyone, it's Jade and welcome back to a Sims 4 speed build. So this speed build is for a current LP on the channel, which is Dream Home Decorator. It's Decorator, right? I keep saying Dream Home Decorator. Anyway, so basically the family is just Mother Aubrey and two daughters who are both aliens. We were impregnated and abducted. But she's been working really hard and we're making quite a bit of money from her jobs at the moment. Like she's probably getting like maybe, if she's lucky, like about maybe 4,000 a day, I would say. Like you can range from like 2 grand up to like maybe like 6 grand. So I was like, you know what? It's time for us to live some luxury life. And I really do like them living in apartments. But so basically the story when this started off was the fact that Aubrey was a city girl. And she went away from her family, I believe, was the story that I went with. And she was living in this tiny starter home in Windenburg. And I don't know what it was. I wasn't really like thriving. I was just like having fun building like a really cute tiny home with the new like decor items, no, the pack items, my apologies. And so I just had a lot of fun with that. And I love making little small houses and it's a lot less to monitor. So that's why we had originally gone with that. But moving on, I don't know. I was like, you know what? I'd really like us to live in an apartment. And then like, you know, for the idea of, you know, she's in the city, there's a lot more places for her to be renovating and she's got more opportunities, blah, 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 blah. And I hadn't played in apartments for a long time. So that's why we started there. And our apartment is super cute, love it, but I'm thinking, I was like, we need a bit more space. I'd love her to have her own office, like, you know, that's what she works out of. She talks to her clients there, sets up her stuff. And I wanted us to be like, I wanted a large apartment, but the only large apartments are in the more expensive suburbs. So we had to go with that, even though I probably wouldn't have liked, I don't know, I don't like the style of like the expensive part. It's like very like shapy, like triangles and squares, and it's just like all very like modern, futuristic looking. But we went with it anyway. Sorry, I'm so just like giving you a full intro to like why we are doing the things we're doing when I probably should be talking about the build. But I was kind of nervous that I wouldn't have enough to talk about, so I just started rambling there and I just let myself go. But I went with I tried to use as much as obviously the decor stuff as I possibly could, because that's the pack, that's the style, and I'm trying to use as much like of the pack as I can, kind of really. Also, thank God they finally brought in some chairs, like some like lounging chairs you can actually have like bent like that, like in a like a hook shape. It's so nice, and I'm really glad that they actually brought that in. But I do love the style of this pack, like all the building stuff is amazing, would highly recommend it. But yeah, I was like, you know what, like this apartment's actually super cute. I did go for a lot of like the pastel woods, like the light creamy woods, and like a lot of pinks. And I'm not usually a pink girl, so that's quite impressive, I would like to say. Also, those curtains are from a custom content pack. I do forget it, but I will try link it in the description. It's like a country farming pack, and I think it was partly with Harry and another, I was gonna say another author, another creator. But and it has 3 different size curtains as well, so obviously 3 different heights, and that's something that really kind of challenged me a little bit in this build, was the different heights. So the first floor is a 2-tier height, and then the second floor is a 3-tier height, and I didn't actually register it until a little while into building on the second floor, but I was just like, crap. And it was a lot because I only ever build with like 1 tier, and that's because I think I just like the full feeling of it. Like if it's like got more space in the ceiling, it feels almost like a little empty, and like the walls feel more empty, and like if you have cabinets it feels a bit more empty. But so yeah, you can just tell that we've gone with like quite like light whites, and then a complementary a complementive couch downstairs. I don't know what words I'm using. Also, if you these are things that I probably should have said a bit earlier while we were actually on that level, but the front door I really disliked, so that's why I have that little entrance kind of with the closet there, as if it's like, you know, you open the door, you have like, you take your shoes off, your coats, like your entry room, and then you go into the house, because like from that perspective I can actually kind of pretend that that door doesn't exist. But I spent so long on the second level trying to figure out kind of what layout I was after. It was just really almost frustrating, because I wanted the girls' rooms to be symmetrical, totally something that I just always do with like twins. Like I just want like twins, I always like dress in like the same clothes, maybe different colors, give them the same hair. Like that's just what I do. Like, you know, how can I be more obvious to the twins, right? And so I wanted their rooms symmetrical, but the top side of this floor was not, so it was kind of hard to have that. Because I wanted them to like obviously have like symmetrical closets and bathroom and whatnot, but they do have a shared bathroom. I also built this without any budget, so I didn't actually, you know, go through to think about, you know, what the cost of this entire house would be for us. And I did want to use a lot of the newer pack. I forget what the pack's name is, but like it's a stuff pack. It's a stuff pack. It's a kit. That's the word. The new one. I'm so bad. I literally bought it in the middle of making this because I kind of wanted some of the wallpapers, and I'm very confident in wanting all of the Sims packs, even though some of them are very questionable and, you know, they don't load enough into them as they used to. So it's really quite sad. Well, I didn't really, like, not Sims 4 wise, but like Sims 3. Like Sims 3 stuff packs or like stuff like that was just full. And yeah, so it's just sad to see that we're losing out a little bit. Like I like that they went back and redid the Spa Day pack, because when you look at that, you can see that they've finally added in stuff that should have been there ages ago. And I really hope they do that with a lot of packs, like luxury party stuff pack. Like, still nice, but when you think about it, like, we just had that wedding pack come out and there was so many more things there that we didn't really like. You know, there wasn't as much variety in that stuff pack. And, like, I get it, but, like, it's still quite sad. Also, these wall panelings, I really tried to make it work, but you can see me using all the different lighting to try and make it look nicer. But I think because it's a 3-tier height wall, naturally the bottom floor is, I don't know, the shading or whatever, it just makes it all dark. So that's why I'm like playing with the lighting so much, because I'm trying to like gather what this is going to look like. And I really liked these bedside tables, but I do change them. So I might even, I remember watching this back through when I was like trying to take out what wasn't relevant in this build. Like, cause I think this was a 6-hour build for me, like over time. Like I went back and did it for an hour while I was watching stuff. But I'm just so indecisive and I redo things so much. So, but it was definitely the bedrooms that took me the longest, and the paneling and trying to figure out what was happening with the lighting. It was very frustrating. So there's that, and I almost took it away, but I liked the look of it. Like it looked quite like fancy in a sense, like quite modern, fancy. And I wanted a fireplace in here, and we've gone with the same fireplace. But yeah, so I was trying to envelop that kind of like modern, but like also I said like I'm really bad with like describing the styles that I use because I'm not that well versed. But like, is it traditional? Is it traditional? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'll learn one day. And you can see that obviously something else I do with twins or with kids or any family members is like I usually tend to pick like a color for their room, like a color theme, and I try to like nurture that throughout the actual room. So you can see that I had pink and yellow over there before. Also, right here, I'm trying to make this, this wardrobe here. And for the life of me, again, the shading was throwing me off. So I put lights in and I was like, what's going on? And you can see me kind of like hanging around it a lot. It's because I cut out so much of me changing the swatches so many times. And I went back and redid it as like a different layout as well. Yeah, see, look, going back through it again, I'm like, look, we can't do this. So I eventually just pulled out of that. But, oh, also, I did jump around a lot. I remember, I think I was doing the bathroom and I looked over here and I didn't like the table that was there. So that's why we traded that out. And then I was like, you know what, it'd be really nice if we had like a TV unit underneath this. I ended up having to delete the TV before we move in because it was a lot more expensive than I was hoping. But the reason for that is that I didn't realize until I was trying to move in is that it's not necessarily all the items in the house that were too expensive. It was that there is a 25k deposit on this apartment. So you kind of have to fork that out, which none of the other apartments have. But I also, like, that's, you know, seems kind of realistic. But hopefully, you know, Sims wise, of course, but like, you know, to put a deposit down on it. And then she also has to pay weekly rent, and I think the weekly rent's quite expensive. So I'm just really hoping that her job, like, she's a single mother of 2, but she is raking in a bit of funds. And I think I might get the girls when they age up to have part-time jobs. I think that would be a really good idea. You know, like, their mother strives for a lot. She's been a single mother for a long time, and she doesn't want the girls to rely on family or to simply rely on, like, you know, their significant others in the future. And so that she wants to start them out very ambitious and successful from the start. So she's like, let's get jobs, let's make, like, you know, let's get you a part-time job. I want you to get that retail experience. This is me trying to make a really cool headboard. Not that it really worked out. I was trying to make the panels work, but it was just really frustrating me. So I kind of just tried to make something there. It doesn't look as nice, and I am going to go back and change. Hopefully I remember, I probably won't, to change the side tables to the ones that I had before because they were so much nicer. And I've gone and tried to add some color into this room because a lot of what I tend to build is very like neutral colors. So I'll always go like browns and blacks and whites, and that's kind of just like my repeat tendency in a lot of my builds. But that's my style. Everybody has their style. Like, for example, like little Simsy, she does a lot of not Tudor style, what is it, like suburban like homes, and it's always like the same, not the same layouts, but she's got her style, and that's what it is. And Deli's is always like Deli Grissy, she's another Sims YouTuber. Help me, Lord. You know what? Sims are a new thing trending. Deli always has like very modern, she does branch out a little bit every now and then, but she has like her favorite kind of flavor, which is like her modern traditional builds. I think she kind of goes for modern, yeah, where she has a lot of like glass windows and stuff like that. So now we're just moving on to the bathrooms. The bathrooms kind of have the same style throughout them. There's 3 in the house. There 3, yeah, I almost did 4, but I changed the 4th one into like a cute little, it's kind of like a laundry hamper, like cupboard almost next to the stairs. But the bathrooms took me a little while to kind of figure out what I was doing, because something I always do with bathrooms is I always make them quite small. So when I'm trying to do luxurious builds and I have to do a large bathroom, I kind of really struggle with that. There's just too much open space and I don't know how to fill it. But you know, it's all a learning curve, right? We're all learning. I build a lot like for my current households and stuff like that, but I don't build like, I don't go into a build or into a world and say, I'm just going to build this for fun and see how I go. Because I like to like build to a story, right? So like, not necessarily a story, but like, I also realize how much I'm saying like, and I would put a like counter in if I had the effort or the cringe inside of me to show myself. And I do apologize. But as I was saying, maybe I should start with that. But like, instead of, you know, just as I was saying, oh my god, I forgot where I was going with that. Style, bathrooms. Yeah, I don't know how to, no, I don't know where I was. I was trying to bring it back there. Also the tiling in these rooms is really hard. That actually, I hope I stay with that tiling. No, I think I go something lighter for the girls' room. But the tiling almost looks a little like olivey, like a little bit green, and I like the green tints. Green is so nice. It's kind of weird. Like, green has become like one of my favorite used colors currently. Yellow, kind of, not so much, but definitely like green, like majority of the shades of green. I'm just like, oh, that is so beautiful. And I don't know if it's in becoming, like when I was younger it was like blue and purple, but green, like greens and browns are my current favorite. And when I think about that, or like even like really like mild like dusty kind of pinks as well, it's just, I think, yeah, growing up, like the things that I like a really beautiful like green tree and green grass, and just it feels very like natureful. That's not the right word, but it feels like very it's like it puts me in a setting, if that makes sense, like, you know, like foresty, takes me to another place, and I like that. So anyway, with the girls' rooms, I have recorded the next part where they actually move into this apartment. I was a bit slack in doing this voice recording because I was really nervous about talking, like I said earlier. Just that I don't know, probably the way I do this is probably not the perfect way to do it, but like I'm literally like sitting here trying to talk for 10 minutes straight about me and this build, and I'm just such an average, like boring person. So it's kind of hard to fill up the space, but I'm working on it. I've got this. So with the girls' rooms, yes, so basically one of the girls, I've done her as a bit more of like, not necessarily like a goth, but she's got like a bit more, she wears darker makeup, she likes her boots, like kind of vibes. So I don't know if yellow is her color, But this, I had started building this when they were kids, so they hadn't had too much like separate personality, and that's kind of what I wanted, because a lot of the time I always make my twins like the same kind of vibe with like slightly different skills. Like they'll have the same kind of look but just have like different outlooks or hobbies and interests. So that's kind of why naturally up the top I've just gone with that same kind of like yellow and pink, like, you know, both, because both of the girls were like, one's into art and craft and the other one is more of a social butterfly. But yeah, so that's why we've just gone with like light colors, but I think I might change the rooms up a bit, give them a bit more personality. Also, so sorry, this area here, I did want to have a garden because we do have a garden at a current one, but I didn't want it to be like too much. Where the office will be, so directly behind where all this is, I did have like some pots in there earlier, you might have seen, and I had intended for that to be like a cute little greenery, and I almost wish I had that, but I do really like the office that I do put in there, and I think she deserves an office. Like, she's working hard, she's bringing in the bank every day, she's taking care of her 2 daughters, she don't need no man. That reminds me, men. I'm kidding. I really like, Kohei gives her like really like hot and cold, you know, feelings and responses. Basically, like she was kind of like flirting with him the whole time, and he would like kind of reject her advances, but like he would like take it in for a while, and then he would like decline it, and then it would just be really awkward. And then one day I was just like, I always keep trying to push the romantic actions. Like, I feel like they're good friends, and sometimes they just have like a little bit of lust for each other, but also he'd be lusting after her brother, but her brother, I found out, is a bit of a what's the word, bit of a hoe. No, I'm kidding. But her brother like made out with Kenichi, made out with, he's down for anyone. He is a lover, not a fighter, and he wants to show everybody. So I can excuse that, but maybe Kohei is interested, but he doesn't really know where they stand, perhaps. But he did in the previous part like kind of come into it, and he was like, yo, should I go on a date with this chick? And this was the day after they'd hooked up. Like they had their first woohoo together, and Aubrey, I think, would be like, you know, she does want something, but she can also probably at the moment is just having casual, and so maybe that's what their relationship could have been, like a friends with benefits kind of thing, to help each other out, you know, all that good stuff. But at the same, so like he's like, should I go out with this chick, like where do we stand? And she was just like, I'm gonna leave it up to you, you can either go for it or you don't. Like, and then he was like, hey, just calling to let you know that we went out, like, you know, we hung out and it was a really good time. And I was just like, oh, you poor baby. And then he proceeds to call her and ask her to like come over for a movie, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. So I'm feeling like a friends with benefits kind of vibe with Kohei and Aubrey. But I'm gonna see if that guy still lives next door to us, but I think the Fangs live there, but I thought I put him in next door. So I might fix that up and make sure our neighbors looking cute and spunky. And then there might be like a cute little like neighbor romance, and I just would really like that kind of to bring the LP to an end, like her to find somebody, or maybe she can just be her single confident ass kind of whammon of a mother that she is, and her daughters can, you know, take all that in and represent it as well. But I'm really excited for the girls to be teens now. They did age up in the next part. Sorry about all the spoiler. OMG, I'm sorry, it was a terrible birthday anyway. But the girls are now teens. I've given them their makeovers and they're looking cute, so it should be fun to see how they go in high school. You know, they are still aliens, so you know, potential people. It should be a really good time. But yeah, so that's always exciting. So this is where we're finally getting into the study, and boy, I really do, I need a color wheel in this game. Like, bookshelves, there's a lot of bookshelves, but the coloring like never matches, and like that's fine. Like, I like that the Sims 4 kind of pushes me to use different colors instead of being so matchy because nothing's like that in real life. Like, for example, my computer desk is grey and black, and then my drawers are like grey wood, which is kind of nice, and then my bookshelf is brown. So like there's not the same kind of coloring there, but it's something that I'm like slightly kind of a little bit obsessed with, and I'm so appreciative. But I just wish they would add like maybe more swatches or more I know every pack has like the same kind of swatches or complementary swatches in the pack, but I really need like them all to kind of work together. Like if I want to use different stuff with different stuff, like that I can match them, if that makes sense. Like I like how they've gone through, when they went through Spa Day, they added new coloring for towels and the new robe, not the new robes, but they added new swatches in for the robes as well. So like I can 100% appreciate stuff like that. And some of the doors, they redid like more brown swatches to make it more universal for us to use, and that is amazing. And I just really hope that they continue with that. I mean, something that I'm noticing in The Sims 4 now is the lag as well, especially when like in build mode, and sometimes it carries over to I was gonna say CAS mode, to live mode, which is quite upsetting. But they are adding a lot to the game, and obviously people with mods, that it's gonna be a bit more funky. But you know, mods in The Sims 4 is a good time. Absolutely good time. I do need to also do a shopping video soon, but the thing is, like, I kind of like sometimes idly through the day I'll just do a shop, and it'll be like 3 things, and then the next day I'll do like a, you know, it's not very often, but it's something that's always there. But anyway, I hope you guys really like the apartment. I'm in love with it, and I will talk to you guys soon. So I'll be leaving here today, guys. I hope you're having a good day, and we will talk soon. Bye.